welcome to part 12 of the USS Voyager build-up. I thought I'd make a start on this kit again. It has been on hiatus since January. I think it's the longest I've ever had a kit on hiatus for, but there you go. I mean, the reason why I was on hiatus was because of the HMS Valiant that I've been building. That's about 98% complete at the moment, and I'm just waiting for the base to come in before I can actually complete that. So I thought, well, whilst that's doing, I would make a start on this kit again. So what I'm going to be trying to do over this weekend is get the thin stripes in on both of the nacelles. So I've started with the port side nacelle. Now the aim here is to get the stripes in on the top side and the bottom side, and also on the other one. Just see how that goes, really. It's a bit of a tricky one because I've never done this kind of level of painting before. They are meant to be really thin lines, and they're also meant to be really subtle as well. So we just have to really see how that goes. The paint that I've got is the paint that I've used on the kit itself, and I've just added a little bit more grey to it to hopefully just bring the tone down a bit darker. It just needs to be really subtle, really, to be fair. It's just a case of, you know, you look at it and then you look at it some more, and then it kind of you kind of see it. That's the kind of effect that we're trying to go for here. Whether we can pull that off or not, I don't really know. I have been working on this kit here. I mean, this one, I don't think you're really going to see it too well, but we've got a little bit of a line down there. I mean, it is coming up a little bit darker on the camera, but we have got a little bit of a line there, and a little bit of a line there, and one there as well. So yeah, we just see how this goes. I mean, if not, the good thing is I can just quickly paint over it and go back over it again. So I'm just going to carry on and do that, do a little bit more practicing, really, I guess, until I'm happy with it, and then I'll do the nacelles, and then once I've done those, I will come back to you. So I've been doing some more work to the Voyager, and around these panel lines for the windows, I have been doing some Aztec work, and they have actually come out really light, which is the way that I wanted them to be. And there's only a few sort of spattered about all over the place, really, on these parts here. I didn't want to sort of go too overboard with it, really. And you do really have to sort of like look at them in the right light to be able to see them. But you can actually see them starting to come through there. We got a kind of a T-shaped one there, and then a sort of like a little square one there, and a little oblong one there, and there's some sort of other different sort of shades in there. As I say, I didn't want to get too carried away and do loads of work like that on the kit, mainly because you don't really see too much of that on there anyway. But it was just another point of interest to actually add to the model itself, and as I say, I just wanted to do it really, really subtly. So it was kind of a case of, well, did I just see that on there or something, you know? So I think I pulled that off. As I say, it is really subtle. It's only just about half a shade over what the main colour is. So it doesn't, as I say, it doesn't really stand out. It doesn't pop, really. But I'll show you how I've kind of achieved that look, actually. As we all know, we've got the poor beaten up Voyager that I've been experimenting on, and all I've done is I've just used the green frog tape and just basically laid that down on the ship, on these panels here. Some of these I could only put one row of tape on to actually cover up the panels. Other panels I've managed to get sort of two rows done at a time. But yeah, this is how I've basically done it, is I've just laid the tape on and then cut around all of the edges, and then also in between the panels themselves. And I've also, as you can see there, marked out where the windows are. Hopefully you can see the window markings on there. I've just basically traced an outline of the windows with a pencil. And then I've just gone in and cut all the various panel lines out. And the next job really is the tedious job. Because what I need to do is just weed those off, put them on my board, cut out the panels to the Aztec-in panels to how I want them, and then transfer them over to the other model. Now, because we got the phaser strip there, what I've been doing is I've just done when I did the Aztec panels on the Voyager, I just done the bottom row first, and then just masked everything off around there. And I think I had the air pressure at about 15 psi. Just so we didn't get too much paint sort of going everywhere really. And then once I'd done the bottom section and that all dried off, I then went back and done the top section and then just masked everything off again, and then just done that. So I'll be repeating the same to this side as well. I'll be doing exactly the same side. Luckily enough, I've actually managed to find the rest of this kit, so I will be able to do exactly the same sort of thing to these panel lines down here as well, and also these ones across here as well, and I'll be able to do the same to these panels as well here. Sorry, excuse me. The rest of the kit, these kind of areas that are here and across there, I will put some on there, but not too much really, to be quite honest. I just put a few, a sprinkling, I guess you could say, a little sprinkling of Aztec-in panels over it, but nowhere near as much as I've put on these, even though those are quite sporadic in themselves really. But I just put a few around just to help sort of even it up really around the ship. But that's about it for the moment. I'm just going to carry on and get all of these bits sorted out, and as soon as I've got these ones done, I will come back to you. Managed to get some more work done to the Voyager, working on this as well really in between doing the HMS Valiant and also the bladder cancer group build that I'm doing too. So this ship really at the moment is taking a bit of a backseat to everything else. I've made quite a lot of progress on this, to be quite honest. The Aztec pattern, well, it's not really an Aztec pattern, it's more of a sort of like patch repair panel kind of pattern that I've got going on. It's the kind of thing that they'd in fact have done through all the battles and fights and scrapes that, you know, the Voyager underwent. They'd in fact have repaired a lot of panels on that ship as they were going through. So it's kind of more to simulate that kind of thing more than anything else. But the only section that I've got left to do is this little section here. The rest of it around the side, as you can hopefully see, has been done. I've used a paint that's only about half a shade darker, or lighter should I say, than the primary colour itself, so it's very difficult to actually spot it. I mean, you have to get really sort of up close to it to actually sort of spot that. And then we've also got that side there done as well. Again, you know, you might not see some of it because it is a bit light. And then we've got that side in there done as well. And then we've also got the bottom across there done as well. So it's, as I say, it's only this side here, this little bit here, that needs to be done. Once that's done, the only things painting wise that need to be done is to redo both of the warp nacelles, because I'm not happy with the pattern that I got there. A, it's too dark, and B, they're as wonky as hell. So I mean, that's not a problem really. I'll just spray over those and redo them. It's not an issue. So once that's done, I'll then just need to go in, do the details on the sensor bands on both sides, get the sensor bands painted for those, try and get those looking a little bit like these with the different colours in them. Helps to bring them to life. After that, I just need to do a little bit more work to the thrusters. I'm not too happy. The colour on those is a bit too bright, so I need to darken those down. I also need to get rid of some of the overspill as well that we've got sort of on the edges there, where it bled through the masking tape. Once all those bits are taken care of, it'll just be a case of then clear coating it and then going on to doing the decals. Not sure when I'll be able to get the next segment of this update done, as I say, because I've got 2 other builds that sort of seem to be taking priority over this at the moment, but it's not a problem. But as soon as I've got some more time to work on this, I will do so. So as soon as I've got some more work done, I will come back to you. Now I got the Valiant finished, I've finally managed to find a little bit of time to do some more work to the Voyager. No, it's only just the Mustang for the bladder cancer group build that I'm doing, so I'm able to put a bit more time into this kit too now, which is fantastic. So hopefully I'll get this kit finished as well. So the only bit that I had left to do, I think on where I left it last, was this bit here. So I've gone ahead and put some light patterns on there. And then I wasn't happy with the paneling effect that I done on the warp engines. So I've just gone in, basically masked everything off, and then resprayed those. So what I'll do next is I'll just mask these off properly, and just mask off really sort of thin lines. So I'm going to have to do these a few at a time now, really, rather than sort of all of them at once. Well, I think so anyway. I'll just see what the logistics are of that. But I still want the stripes on there, but they're just going to be really thin. And I think that paint that I used before was a bit too dark. So what I'm going to do, the paint that I've used for the Aztec I'm also going to use on these parts here too as well. Just to sort of help those blend in a little bit more. So once they're done, the only other bits left to do is really for me just to get a few more Aztec details just around the front here and around this part here, and then I'll call that job done on those. Then I'll be able to finally move on to the 15 million decals that actually go on this kit. Well, it's not quite 15 million, but there's definitely a couple of hundred decals that need to go onto this kit. So I'll be able to get those on there. So as soon as I've made some more progress on this, I will come back to you. Now I've got the last little bit of Aztec done to Voyager that I'm going to do, to be quite honest. Otherwise I could be here all year doing this. I'm not sure whether you're going to see it at all, but you've got a few little bits there, and then there's a couple of little bits down there. We've also got the other side of the kit finished now as well on those areas. So that's it for that. I can now move on to the next stage really, which is just tidying up a few of the little thrusters and just giving them a little bit of a wash to lighten them down. Also just need to redo the yellow bits on the nacelles as well. Can't remember what they're called. Carwin did tell me a while ago, but I've since forgotten again. So that's the next stage. After that is just really, once those bits are completed, it's just going to be a case of doing a little bit of light blocking around the windows. Once I'm happy with that, I'll then be able to go on to putting all the decals down and then clear coating it again, and then I'll be able to start the unmasking ceremony. Oh, I've also got to put the little sensor band bits in as well. Yeah, I need to remember that. But that's about it. So hopefully it's not going to be too far away. I reckon about maybe another 2, possibly 3 weeks before this ship is finished. Keeping fingers crossed. So I'm going to leave this video here actually, to be fair, and I will catch up with you in, I do believe it's going to be part 13. Where hopefully we will start to see quite a lot of the decals going down, or at least all of the work done that precedes the decals. So I will catch up with you in the next video. So until then, thanks for watching, and please do take care.